This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Hello, I'm Doyle. You're listening to Spirit Talk Show, Bedtime Stories for Grown-Ups. Look at that. I got that right. The first time, without a stutter. We started doing ghost stories. That's why it's called Spirit Talk Show. But then we moved into AI-generated stories and facts and research, which has been very fun to pursue. So we kept the name Spirit Talk Show because we think that worked with the AI stuff and also the spirit of the story. So we are doing these AI generated stories, but we are also, I hope you were tuning in for our serialized radio plays with E.S. Oliver and Chris Turek. Most recent one is The Invention of Liberation. I think there's like 15 parts that you can listen to. Follow this story about Jeff and Sandy and their daughter. I won't give anything away now because I want you to listen. Go listen. They're available right now, the first 5 episodes. And 6 and 7 will be available today. And by the time you listen to this, they'll probably be all available. So what am I even saying? Of course, we like to have great guests in the studio with us. But before we talk about our wonderful guest in the studio, if you guys would like to get involved, go to spirittalkshow.com. You can see all the information about upcoming shows, our new format, and where you can listen to us. And you can get in touch with me if you'd like to be on the show or have suggestions for the show or story prompts or whatever you'd like to share. But of course, as I said, we have great guests in the studio, and we have a great guest tonight. And I have John DeMakus in the studio with me.
Hi, thanks for bringing me in.
Thank you. Well, hey, what's going on in your life right now?
Oh, every day is an adventure, just kind of getting through. I've got a bunch of projects coming up, and yeah.
Yeah, on IMBD. Well, I got to read this little intro for you that I discovered. Okay, so today's guest is a true powerhouse in independent film and beyond. John DeMakus is an internationally award-winning actor with 59 acting credits to his name across film, television, and voiceover. But that's just the beginning. He's also produced 10 films, written 6 original works, and voiced numerous audiobooks and commercials heard around the world. In 2024 alone, he took home Best Actor at the Clout Film Festival, and his self-produced short film, Remember, won the Producer's Choice Award at a place called Sacramento Film Festival. His latest project, Love Wins, is currently making waves, John, at international film circuit. From co-hosting the YouTube sports show Ballpark Sports Lounge, where can I hear that?
That's on YouTube and also on Access Sacramento.
Okay, so it's not on Spotify or
no, not right now.
Okay. To narrating best-selling audiobooks. John's career spans genres, platforms, and audiences, always with heart, humor, and a deep love of storytelling. So that's your little intro that I created.
Well, thank you so much.
So let's talk about some of the stuff. Let's talk about your movie, Love Wins. What can you tell us about it? Love
Wins. It was actually written by my best friend, Larry Watson. Larry and I have been friends since first grade, and I kind of dragged him into this filmmaking thing when we did Remember. Yeah. I made him a co-writer on it. We just kind of had a day when I was telling him, you should really work on one of these projects with me, and they're a lot of fun, and you're going to have a good time. And so I got him into it. Well, then he was hooked. And so now he's got 3 or 4 scripts he's working on. And so I figured after we did Remember and, we won the festival, we got the Producer's Choice Award, I thought, maybe we'll step back and we won't do another one because, we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get in. Not that, mine will always get chosen. Yeah. But, we want to be fair to everybody because everybody's got a story to tell. And he says, well, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm like, okay. And he got chosen. So Love Wins comes into being. And we shot that and brought in some new folks that we hadn't worked with before. And it was so much fun. We just had a great story. It came out really a great project in the end. And we're on the film festival circuit now.
Making waves.
I think I said in the thing, I think I know where you got that from. Yeah. I thought I said making its way, but could have been making waves. But with Remember, we got into 10 festivals out of like 30 or 35 that we had submitted to. And with Love Wins, we've already matched our 10 festivals, and I think we still have another 30 to go. We went kind of big this year, and we thought we were just a shade better, so we thought we'd give it a shot.
So Love Wins and Remember seems like good stories to make feature length. When I was down at one of the festivals down in Orlando that we were chosen for, I had somebody approach me and say, I came in just a little late on the start of your film. And he said, and I thought, 10 minutes, I'm not even going to get this story. There's no time to even put it together. He says, you really blew me away. In 10 minutes, I was crying. And I said, well, that's great. That's what I want to hear. But a lot of these stories, when you're making them for festivals with a time limit, we could do so much more with more time. Yeah. And I've had a couple people ask me, would you want to make these longer? And it's like, well, yeah, I would. Where would we go with it, though? With Remember, I think I could have probably put in another 5 minutes to it, and it would have been a better film. Okay. But I think we'd be stretching the story a little bit for that one. But Love Wins, maybe we could have done a little more with that, too. But, yeah we'd like to do something longer. Well, I mean, if you followed in Remember, like your movie Remember jumped pretty quickly from, like, what is it, like 2000 or 1999 to modern day. It seems like you could have developed a little bit about, his relationship with the phone.
Oh, and how definitely. Even just because
in the beginning of
everything was so important in that film, every minute. Yeah. And we could have spent a little time on the relationship he had with his wife, which would have been great. And Crystal, oh God, Crystal was so amazing in that role. Amazing. Oh, I love working with her.
And that was her debut, right? That was her.
She had worked in one other film with me, but she doesn't do a lot of film. She mostly does stage, and she's amazing.
She was amazing, yeah.
And we had been in 2 plays together where she played a version, either my girlfriend or a love interest, and we just really had a good chemistry. Mm-hmm. So when I wrote Remember, she's my first choice. And she said absolutely. She didn't even have to think about it because we work so well together.
Wow. That's
great. She was great.
So as somebody who's working in the industry professionally, what do you think about AI and how it's creating stories? Because they're on a show where I created some stories with AI.
Right.
And I did use some GPAs, which are GPAs. It's not just ChatGPT. I actually pay for it. Okay. And you can get ones that are specifically for script writing. Some script writer like programmed it. But what are you thinking about it?
I think there's good and bad. I was in a service for a little while where I was one of the avatars that they had in the system that you could choose to kind of be your spokesperson on your website or whatever. Oh, wow. And I think when used well, that's a great tool to have. Yeah. And a friend of mine, Brian Jagger, who owns Casting Calls America with his partner Kirk Euler, they now have an AI platform as well called Guardrails that they're putting in schools. Kind of like a safer version of a Chat GPT. And And I get to listen to him tell these stories of the things that they're able to do. And I mean, I really find it fascinating.
Yeah.
The big issue, as a SAG-AFTRA actor, is you just want to make sure that they're not taking advantage of actors with AI. You don't want to have somebody come in. I mean, I've seen a few things where they're like, oh, we're going to come in, we're going to give you $500 and we're going to own your voice and your likeness. No, I don't think so. No.
Wow. I mean, yeah, some of these, if I see an ad or if I hear an ad with that AI voice in it, that man's AI voice and that woman's AI voice.
Sure.
I'm like no interest in, and I've like for me to say that I have a show that does AI generated stories because it's just a tool I'm using.
Sure.
But those ones where they use the voice, the AI voice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like repugnant. I mean, when I hear it. And also, I think we can still see the pictures that are AI. I think we can still
I think right now we can.
Yeah.
In 5 years, I don't know if that's going to be the same.
Well,
but what I find is a lot of times you'll be listening to something and you're thinking, oh, okay, well, this is an actor. And then all of a sudden they'll just start mispronouncing words. And it's like, yeah, that's not a real person.
Yeah. And as a teacher, I've used some of the teacher AI. It does great with creating documents, but if I ever ask it to create an image, it does okay. But for some reason, it can't spell words in the image. It's so strange. It's like a different language. It's like computer code.
Right.
So I have all these questions here I was going to ask, but we kind of have talked about that.
Okay.
So, well, why do you think that Love Wins? Why is it resonating in the festival? What is it about it?
I think that just that story of somebody overcoming adversity is always going to be a popular thing. And we have a great actress, Jordan Riala, who she was just amazing. And her story alone was fantastic in that she decided she wanted to be an actress, and where she was going to school told her, you know what, I think you should find something else to do. You're not very good at this.
Oh, gosh.
And so she was going to give up. And I think it was kind of one of those things. She was kind of on the bubble of, maybe I'm just going to give it up.
Yeah.
And my director, Rob Gore, said, I have the perfect person for this role. We're going to give her a call and hopefully she'll do it. And she cried. She said, I figured this was it. I was never going to be able to do it. Now that she's been in a film and she's gotten such incredible feedback, because I mean, for a lot of people, all you need is somebody who's going to give you a little support. And it changes your whole picture. Mm-hmm. And now she's doing her own films. I mean, she's writing, she's directing, she's doing all these amazing things. And she's so talented. And I love that we were part of that journey. I mean,
that's cool. That can be. We'll see. I'm excited to see where she is in 5 years. And
agreed.
What snowball you started there. That's great. So not only by being amazingly, dashingly handsome and a great voice and an actor, you're
talking about me. I thought you were talking about you.
I'm talking about you. Folk music. You do music too. You have a band.
Yeah, I had a band for several years out of high school called Big Dreams, and we were local to the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and we were just kind of doing little shows, and we started to kind of catch a few eyes, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And it just never went anywhere. I've continued to write off and on, over the years. I love writing music. In fact, recently I was talking with a guy who's a performer in Nashville, and I've kind of working on him to see if he'll maybe, help me out and record one of my songs for a film. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about maybe shooting a music video for it. And he seems, positive about the experience. And it's like, boy, I wrote that back in the 90s.
Well, everything comes back, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, well, we should do some actual AI reading in this show.
Let's do it.
So the first thing I'd like us to do is I have a little script here, okay? So the characters are Frank, a man in his mid-40s, though he was 25 when he disappeared. Oh, that's telling you something about the story. Ernest, bewildered, desperate to understand. And George, now in his late 40s, Frank's old friend, hardened, skeptical, but still carries a kernel of hope and the bitterness. So what character resonates with you?
I'm good with either one. Let's go for George.
Okay, so you're going to be George.
Yeah.
And then what I'd like you to do, too, is if there's any like titles and stuff, if you could read that too. So you're George.
Sure.
And I'm gonna teleprompt it like this. Okay. So you're gonna start by reading here.
Okay.
And read this stuff.
Sure.
And obviously, don't read your name.
Write down your name.
Okay. And whenever you're ready.
Radio play. The Walk Back. Scene 1. Can I help you?
George, it's me.
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
It's Frank Dyer.
You think that's funny?
No, listen. I know how it sounds, but I just walked down to the creek, slipped on a ridge. Next thing I knew, I woke up and everything was different.
Different? You think it's different? Frank Dwyer disappeared in August 2005. No trace. No note. No body. You don't just walk back in 20 years later and say everything's different.
It was this afternoon. I had dinner. I took a walk. I slipped. I must have hit my head. But I didn't lose 20 years, George. Not inside. It's still 2005 to me.
What did we talk about that night? The last one I saw you.
We were on your porch. You had the old radio playing some jazz station. You told me to marry Rachel so fast. Said I was just a kid with a ring and a fantasy.
And you said I was just jealous because I didn't believe in anything anymore. I remember.
It was that night I left your place, walked down the hill. I was thinking about everything you said. Then I slipped. That was it. And now, the gas station's gone. My hair's almost gray. My hands. God, my hands.
You know what it was like, Frank? You just vanished. No goodbye, no fight, no body to bury. Rachel lost her mind for a while. I searched that trail 12 times myself. We all did. But nothing. Eventually they called it assumed dead. But me, I couldn't. I kept seeing you in crowds for years.
I swear to you, George, I didn't leave. I didn't run off. For me, it was minutes. For you, it was decades.
Well, you look like hell.
Thanks.
You believe this is real? That you somehow slipped through time?
I don't know what to believe. I just know I want my life back.
It's not waiting for you, Frank. Rachel remarried, moved to Denver. Your parents passed. You got a headstone out in Glenbrook. You can't just pick up where you left off.
Then what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. But maybe you start here with me. There's a couch upstairs. It's got more springs than comfort, but it's yours for now.
You do that?
After all this, I don't know if I'm dreaming or having a stroke. But yeah, you were my best friend. Some part of me never stopped waiting.
I thought maybe I was dead. Maybe this was some kind of purgatory.
Feels more like Cleveland.
You're really okay with this?
No, but I'm willing to try. We'll figure it out. You just walk back into the world, Frank. That's not nothing. It's not the same world, but maybe there's still a place for you in it.
I hope so. I hope so.
So, do you still take your coffee black?
Yes, and bitter, like my best friend.
Still a smart ass. Some things never change.
Apparently some do. I'm counting on it.
The Walk Back. Continuation. Scene 2. You should call her.
Rachel?
Yeah, before somebody else does. It won't be easy, but she deserves to hear your voice, not somebody else telling her in a headline.
She moved on, right?
She waited almost 6 years before she did. You didn't exactly leave her with much choice.
I didn't leave at all, George.
No, you didn't. But you did vanish, and people had to survive that.
I don't even know what to say. Hi, I'm sorry for the trauma. It turns out I skipped 2 decades without asking.
I don't think she wants an explanation, Frank. She probably just wants to know if you're okay. And maybe if she was crazy for holding on.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
God. 20 years. You even just lose your life in a blink.
Yeah. When I buried you.
I'm sorry. I didn't get to see the damage, but I feel it now. All of it.
You didn't deserve to disappear. But we didn't deserve to lose you either. I guess the world's just not fair.
No, it's not. I used to think time was solid, like a road you could walk on. Now it feels like water pulls you under, and when you finally resurface, you're someplace you don't recognize.
Welcome to middle age.
Still better than being 25 forever, right?
You're not 25. You missed your own aging, but you're still carrying the weight of it. It's in the way you talk, the pauses, the grief catching up all at once.
So, what now?
We start slow. Get you a phone, some clothes, maybe a therapist who won't run screaming.
Think anyone's hiring guys with 25-year-old employment gaps and a weird time travel story?
Tech world might. Worst case, you help me at the hardware store. Old man Don finally retired. Place is falling apart.
You kept the store.
Barely. It's more rust than tools now, but yeah, it's something.
Feels like you kept everything going while what? Took a nap in the woods?
Don't turn it into guilt. That's not what this is. You didn't choose this, Frank. But you do get to choose what happens next.
I don't know who I am anymore.
Then let's find out. Piece by piece.
Hey, remember the dumb plan we made?
Hey, remember the dumb plan we made?
Hey, why did I say that? But yeah, which one? The road trip with no map? A plan, an open bar with all the drinks named after failed relationships?
The latter.
Right. The Bad Decisions Lounge. We had a drink called The Second Date, and it was just vodka and regret.
That's the one. Maybe we start there. Make new plans, even dumb ones.
I'd like that.
Me too.
George?
Yeah?
Thanks for still being here, even when I wasn't.
You're here now. That's enough.
All right. Let's figure out what happens after the walk. I think that would be it. So
that's it.
One little mistake there. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I walked over one of your lines.
Well, they broke it in half. It was natural to think that it was you.
Oh, there was two lines in a row.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
I see.
a pause.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
So what did you think of the story?
I thought it was kind of cool. I liked it.
This was totally generated by AI. The prompt I said was write a story about a man who is goes for a walk and goes missing for 20 years. But
wow.
Basically, that's the prompt. I was thinking of that movie, the Flight in the Navigator. I liked as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
The
Great movie. Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. I watched it recently.
Oh, nice.
I love nostalgic 80 movies. So I do think there was a little bit of repetitiveness in it. Like they seem to be talking about the same thing again and again. But what do you think? Do you think AI could write a story a script that would be...
Absolutely. I'm a full believer in the fact that AI can make a good script if you just, do a little renovation afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe change something here or there, but I think the bones are there.
Okay, yeah. I did use it. I didn't use it to help me write my script, the one I wrote. I just had it to evaluate it a little bit. So I had AI. There's one of those GPAs or GPTs, I forget what they're called. It's like a special, it basically it analyzes your script and says, it's good, I understand the story, except here I'm a little confused, and so it helped me enhance it a little bit. So
that's great.
So that's using it as a tool.
Oh, yeah.
So are you ready for the next
Sure,
script?
let's do it.
I think this one's supposed to be a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
So this is, the two characters in this are Jack, late 30s, confident, straight, always the leading man type. He thinks he's in control. Simon, early 30s, gay, neurotic, but charming, self-deprecating, secretly, or not so secretly, in love with Jack.
Okay.
So which one do you want to do?
I'll go with Jack.
Okay, so I'm Simon then. Okay, so you're going to read the...
Sure.
Yeah. Wait, who? I'm Jack? Okay, I'm Jack.
No, I'm Jack, you're Simon.
Okay, okay, yeah, there we go.
Cue the existential crisis. Scene 1, a living room setting, or so they think. So you're telling me you broke my toaster because it was giving you judgmental energy?
It looked at me, and it knew I wanted to buy non-organic almond milk. What was I supposed to do?
I don't know, not commit small appliance murder.
It was staring, Jack. You don't know what it's like being judged by an appliance, but still has crumbs from 2014 on it.
It was a good year for crumbs.
You ever get the feeling, we've had this conversation before,
like deja vu?
No, like delivery deja vu. Like I've literally said judgment energy with this same inflection, like I'm performing.
Well, you are dramatic.
No, like being watched, listened to by someone other than my plants. They only judge me when I sing Sondheim.
They're just mad because they can't hit the high notes.
Exactly. Wait, why did you say it like that? Was it scripted?
What?
The comeback, it was too clean. It was too tight, like something a clever playwright would write to show off a character's banter skills.
Simon, you're spiraling again. This is like the time you tried to prove your Uber driver was a government plant because he had 2 phones.
No, Jack, seriously, look. I walk over here to the fake kitchen, I pick up a mug, and I say, nothing's ever hot enough for me except my existential dread.
Okay, that was a bit weird.
I didn't mean to say that.
Maybe you're sleep deprived?
Or maybe we're in a play.
What?
A play, a staged, possibly recorded, structured, comedic situation written by someone with mild control issues and a love for internal monologue.
That's insane.
Is it? Then explain this. See? That was a beat. A perfectly timed comedic beat. It wasn't that perfectly timed. It's not real life. That's the work of someone who understands structure.
All right. Say, hypothetically, we're in a play. What does that make us?
Well, you're clearly the straight man with casual emotional depth, and I'm the neurotic but lovable, supporting gay best friend with a secret.
What?
I think I'm in love with you.
What?
Well, of course I am. Of course. That's the arc, Jack. The tragic gay earning arc. I've been written into a rom-com I can't win. God, did I not see it coming? It's practically what's that word?
Chekhov's
infatuation.
Simon, buddy.
Don't buddy me. This was a doomed ping, Jack. This is high-grade, low-burn, audience-favorite material. I bet they're rooting for me right now.
Wait, if we're in a play, can't we just not follow the script?
That's not how these things work. The minute we go off script, reality collapses. The lights flicker. The fourth wall starts to leak. That's funny. The characters become self-aware.
I think we're already there, pal.
God, do you know what this means?
We're fictional?
Worse, we're endearing. We're part of a quirky indie theater darling where nothing explodes and everything ends up with a hug.
Not the worst fate.
Simon.
Simon?
Yeah?
I don't love you like that, but I do love you.
That's really unfairly sweet for a straight man.
Well, blame the writer. Besides, if we're in a play, nothing's real anyway, right?
Oh, no, don't you dare pull the meta-escape clause now on me.
Just saying, if none of this is real, what's stopping me from kissing you?
Wait, what?
Exactly.
You are very confusing for a heterosexual.
And you're very charming for a theoretical construct.
So what now?
Now we find the exit, or we say our final lines together.
You think there's a closing monologue?
There's always a closing monologue.
You want to do it?
Nah, you go ahead. You've earned it.
Okay. If this is a play, then I hope the audience laughed. And if this is real, then maybe the most honest thing we've ever did. Just two guys caught in someone else's story, finding something true inside fiction.
Also, pretty sure you owe me a new toaster.
Worth it. Okay. So I don't know why I keep stepping on your lines. Did they do that thing again?
They did the same thing again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the prompt for that was write me a story about two people. One's gay, one's straight, and one's in love with the other. But they begin to realize the fourth wall that they're in a play.
Okay.
So what do you think of that?
I think it's a neat idea. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. So I thought it was cool. It reminds me of as a play I saw called All in the Timing, where it's kind of like that. It's not really a fourth wall thing, but it's two people meeting, and every time they do something dumb that makes you like that makes the other go, ugh, a bell rings and they go back in time.
Oh, okay. I've seen something similar to that, and maybe that was it.
So, okay, well, I think we need to read your tribute story.
Oh, well, aren't you sweet?
So what I did was I researched you online, and I found all those little bits, and I won't tell about that one thing I found. You know what I'm talking about. No, I'm joking. I didn't find anything. And it's going to write a tribute story. So here is your tribute story. You're going to just read it.
A tribute to John DeMakus, a life in motion, a voice that resonates. In a world where stories are often fleeting, John DeMakus has built a legacy that lingers, etched into the screen, carried through the voice, and echoed on stages and airwaves around the world. An internationally award-winning actor and producer, John is a rare blend of authenticity, passion, and precision. In 2024, he was honored with the Best Actor Award at the Clout Film Festival, a recognition that marked not just a performance, but a culmination of years devoted to the craft. That same year, his self-produced short film Remember captivated audiences and judges alike, winning the Producer's Choice Award at the A Place Called Sacramento Film Festival. More than accolades, these achievements reflect John's commitment to telling meaningful stories, those rooted in emotion, memory, and truth. His talents, however, are not bound to the screen alone. With a voice that conveys both strength and subtlety, John has become a trusted narrator in the world of audiobooks, lending his tone to characters and prose alike, each project available to listeners on Amazon and Audible. His work in commercial voiceover has further extended his reach, making his voice a part of everyday life for countless people, whether they know his name or not. But perhaps the heart of John's artistry is his belief in love's enduring power. Love Wins, his 2024 short film, stands as a poetic declaration, now traveling the world through the film festival circuit, touching hearts in every language. It's the latest entry in a life of purpose-driven work, where every project is more than a credit. It's a conversation. Beyond acting and producing, John brings his charisma and sharp wit to the Ballpark Sports Lounge, the sports talk show he co-hosts on YouTube. There, his love of performance meets his love of play, where entertainment and insight go hand in hand. His journey began on a high school stage in San Francisco, where the spotlight first found him, and he's been returning the favor ever since. As a singer in the folk duo Big Dreams, John honed the emotional intelligence and musicality that still shape his work. He is a writer, a creator, a storyteller in the fullest sense. And since stepping into the world of producing in 2017, he has become an architect of stories, crafting, funding, and building the kinds of films that linger with us long after the credits roll. A lifetime member of the International Thespian Society and a proud member of the Screen Actors Guild, John DeMakus is more than a name in the credits. He's a collaborator, a creator, a champion of independent film, and most of all, a reminder that passion, perseverance, and a good story can still change the world. Here's to John DeMakus, a voice that resonates, a presence that elevates, and a heart that continues to inspire.
How does that feel to read something about yourself like that?
That was very nice. Love that. Thank you so much.
And by the way, I can send you this audio file if you want
to use it. Thank you.
Use it in like any reels or anything, because that was kind of cool. That was a cool. I really liked it. And it's all true, of course.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And how does it feel to see it all connected like that? Like what you find on the internet?
Well, it's crazy to whenever you're putting a bio together, because frequently when you do stage, they'll say, "Hey, we need something for the program. Can you write me a quick bio?"
Yeah.
Nobody likes writing those.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Well, what should I put? I don't want to sound like I'm full of myself."
Yeah.
And then when you sit there and you go through all of this, and I'm reading my own story, it's like, okay, it sounds like my head can't fit through the door.
Well, I think that. Why did I forget what I was going to say mid-sentence again? Well, actually, there was one part here I wanted to ask you about. Going back here, it said, I'm sorry, now I'm forgetting my place. You know how when you have something in the tip of your tongue, people always ask what stuttering is like, because I have a stutter. And it's kind of like, when you have that word on the tip of your tongue.
Right.
And it's like, I know the word. It just will not come out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what stuttering will come out, but it's a physical thing that the words won't come out. And here I am, this stutterer from Ireland, doing a radio show or a podcast, which it's become now.
But that's one of those things that most people that have a stutter wouldn't try. Mm-hmm. And look at you and succeeding at it. Yeah. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, I remember in high school drama is where I found my voice too. And I remember doing a play. And I was like, at that point, my stutter was like, that kind
of,
it's even hard for me to demonstrate to you.
Sure.
Because there's trauma attached to it. And I did this play, and I remember walking up on that stage thinking, I'm going to make a fool of myself. And I did this perfectly articulate, fluid part because I was a different person in the play. I was a different person,
sure.
And that person didn't stutter.
Yeah.
And I became the character, and I was like, it was flawless. And that's when I realized, like, wow, if I do things that scare me, this stutter can go away.
Right.
And so I started to do everything.
I mean, I've known you for a couple of years now. Yeah. I had no idea you had a stutter until today.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty mild, and I hide it pretty well.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't think it's like debilitating like some people.
Right.
But it is hard. Sometimes when you public speak, it's the first word that's the hardest. Mm-hmm. It's the, you want to say it. And then if you mess up the first word, you spiral down into this pit of not being able to say anything, and then you spiral down. Okay, well, I think we got time for one more story, and I did a fun one, and I did it because of you, because one of the characters is which I think you need to do.
Okay.
He's overconfident, overdramatic, completely stuck in the vibe of a 90s action movie trailer.
Okay.
With big voice, big ego, and small clue, which I don't think is you, but I picked this because I wanted you to do, in a world.
Right.
I hear kind of like, because I heard some of your reel, and I'm a calm, so you're doing Trent, by the way.
Okay.
Calm, dry-witted, increasingly exasperated voice of reason, or is he?
Okay.
And so the title is Coming Soon to a Mind Near You.
All right.
That's funny. Okay, so you're Trent.
I'm Trent.
Okay.
Coming soon to a mind near you. In a world where coffee is lukewarm and baristas don't remember your name, one man will rise above the foam.
Trent, stop, please.
His name is Trent, and he's about to order a half-calf with vengeance. The taste of justice.
You're at a Pete's. You're not avenging a falling espresso bean.
This summer, prepare for bold flavor and even bolder eye contact.
This is why no one will sit with us at the co-working space.
What? I'm being charismatic.
You're being a walking voiceover auditioning for 1997. You introduced yourself to my boss with his past, a mystery, his handshake, uncomfortably firm.
Exactly. It builds intrigue. Women love mystery, and so do hiring managers.
No, they love emotional stability and people who don't narrate their salad bar choices like an action sequence.
When danger strikes the kale section, one man must choose between arugula and annihilation.
Please stop narrating in slow motion.
He picked arugula. He was wrong.
Trent, listen. People think you're a jerk.
What, me? The ruggedly handsome loner with a heart of gold and a 6-month gym pass that he never uses.
Exactly, that guy. You interrupt people with voiceover. You call your apartment headquarters. You once broke up with someone by saying your sequel has been canceled.
She cried. That means she felt something.
Yeah, regret.
You're just jealous.
Tent, I'm not even real.
What?
Yeah, I'm imaginary. A coping mechanism you created after you got rejected from a radio promo job in 2012.
That can't be true. You helped me pick outfits.
Trent, you're wearing the same leather jacket every day.
It's iconic.
It's musty. Look, I'm not real, and I even think you're over the top.
Wait, are you saying I've been talking to myself this whole time?
Yes, loudly, in Starbucks, and you just called the barista the latte assassin.
So I've alienated everyone.
Yeah, but almost. You're kind of brilliant.
You mean that?
Absolutely not. But hey, maybe try talking like a normal person for one day and see what happens.
Okay. No voice, no trailers, just me.
Good. Start by saying hello to someone without a dramatic pause.
Got it. Hey there. In a world where hello means destiny.
I give up. That was really funny. And you did it. I did that specifically for you because I wanted you to do that voice because I remember doing my son's science project. He had to do a thing, and he made a video, and I got to do the "In a World with Penguins." I got to do the 90s trailer. There.
Everybody wants to do that, just once.
I'm sad that trailers don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
and I'm also sad trailers used to. I feel like when we were kids, trailers were, this is what the movie's about.
Right.
But now trailers, they seem like manipulations. Like they want you to make you think it's a horror movie, or they don't want you to know it's a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that.
Well, there are some trailers that have things that aren't in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it just, I'm feeling like they want to manipulate you into doing.
Absolutely.
So, well, this was really exciting.
This was fun. Thanks for having me.
Do it again. But
I'd love to.
Would you like to plug something before we log off here? Maybe your podcast?
Well, yeah. We are doing a Ballpark Sports Lounge. You can look for it on YouTube and also on Access Sacramento for those in the Sacramento area. My good friend Larry Watson and I will kind of go through sports-related subjects in kind of a unique way. And so we're a little different than the average sports talk show.
So every actor, I'm told, if I say do a monologue right now, in a dramatic voice. Do you have them have a monologue on a whim? I
don't have one readily available. There's one that I've been using for several years, and I haven't done it for a while, so I don't.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Let us down. There's thousands of people listening right now that thought they were getting it.
I'm so sorry. Okay. I hate to disappoint.
Well, thank you so much. I think you at least have to do the outro, right?
Okay, yeah, so, sure. Give it to me.
It's spirittalkshow.com is the website.
Okay.
And they can find it on Spotify and Apple and iHeartRadio and all the typical.
Okay, and is Spirit Talk Show?
Spirit Talk Show is the name of the show.
Okay.
So here we are with John DeMakus doing the outro for tonight's Spirit Talk Show.
And thank you so much for joining us at Spirit Talk Show with Doyle as your host and myself, John DeMakus, as his guest. Very happy to have you here. And don't forget to like and subscribe and come back. Come back and hear more of what we do.
Okay, and give the website.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's spirittalkshow.com.
Yes, it is. Okay. Well, thank you so much, John. And everybody out there in listening world, thank you. And go to the website, spirittalkshow.com, and we will talk to you soon.